Okay, all right. First of all, we've got three of our players that had a chance to go to the NFL that chose to come back. They'll be up here in just a minute, and you'll be able to ask them any questions, and anybody wants to individually get with them, they can. R.J. Harvey, our running back, obviously had a big-time year, really one of the better running backs really in all of college football. Colby Hudson had a big-time year. He's one of the better receivers in all of college football, chose to come back. And Ricky Barber, I feel like he's one of the better defensive linemen in college football. And so really excited for those three guys. Just big picture, kind of like I told you before that, after the season I was in evaluation mode. Bottom line, we went 6-7. That's unacceptable. And so I evaluated everything. We've made some changes that I really feel really good about moving forward. Obviously, our defense coordinator, Ted Roof, is a guy that was at Oklahoma the last 2 years. We were at Auburn together. We won a national championship together. So very excited to bring Ted and his experience and expertise in. Addison Williams is going to be really in charge of our secondary. And he is our associate head coach, and those two are working extremely well together, so I feel really good about our defense. Yesterday you saw where I hired Tim Harris as our new offensive coordinator. Tim is a guy that he knows me well, he knows our offense well. He is one of the best teachers, coaches that I've been around, and so real excited to bring him back with everything he has to offer. Darren is going to be our co-offense coordinator and quarterback coach. He did an unbelievable job with John Rice last year with his development. I think everybody saw that with that. But I'm excited to have those two guys with me. As far as play calling, it'll be a collaborative deal with me and Tim, and then Darren will also have some influence with that. But I'm really excited about offense moving forward with that group. Anthony Kinsey, our new strength coach. I'm really excited about Anthony. Anthony's a former player of mine. He was at Auburn with me when we went to the national championship game. He ended up being our number 2 guy before we left, and he was with Tennessee the last couple of years. And, man, he's just off to a great start. Our players are really responding with the culture and everything that goes with it. So there's a lot of changes, but I think it's really good changes, and I really feel good about where we're at. And the bottom line is improving in every area. So that's what we've been doing, and real excited about that. Questions?
Coach, I know when you got the job here a few years ago, you said you would always, in essence, be offensive coordinator and call plays. I know you made the tough decision a year ago to kind of hand off those duties. You said a lot of coaches in college football were doing the same thing. Hugh Freeze was doing the same thing, but now this year you're reversing course a little bit. I know Coach Freeze is doing the same thing. Why did you decide you needed to go back to being
Bottom line is my job is to do whatever's best for our team to win and be successful. And, about halfway through the year, I felt like I need to be a lot more involved. And just the identity of our team, the identity of our offense, the discipline, everything that goes with that. So, that's my job, and that's what I'm doing, and we will, we'll operate differently, next year.
Gus, you talked about being a collaborative effort, play calling with you and Tim and Darren. Do you anticipate doing the majority of the play calling? Do you equal among all that?
No, I mean, obviously, I'm the head coach, and we're going to operate, in a matter where Tim will be a big help, and he'll be a big part. And so, when I say that, and that's the way I've done it all the way back through with Rhett Lashley and everybody as far as that goes. And so we'll operate that way. And I will say this, Darren will still have influence. One thing we threw the ball down the field really well compared to what we did the year before. And you look at what he did with John Rice Plumlee and his expertise as quarterback. So I feel really good about moving forward. But, I'll be the point person, put that way.
Coach, aside from 6-7 being below 500, what makes you view last season in terms of that as being unacceptable?
Well, 6-7, I think that's where it starts. You got to understand, I've been real fortunate. I've never lost in my life and have a losing season. You finally do that. You evaluate yourself as a head coach. And I know how to win. And obviously last year was totally unacceptable. And that's where it starts. This is a championship-type program. And, to have a losing record is unacceptable. So you evaluate yourself first as a head coach, which I did, and made the proper adjustments where that won't happen again, and we'll be better next year. I will promise you that.
Coach, there were a couple late game situations last year where the game just slipped out of your guys' hand. How are you preparing to prevent that from happening again?
All these changes that I made. That's how we're going to correct some of the things that we had last year.
You said it was halfway through last year is about the time when you wanted to get more involved. You felt you needed to get more involved. So what were you seeing from a trend perspective, from some of those things that made you feel like you had to be more hands-on as it pertains to the play
Well, I
calling
mean,
and the operation?
I think really big picture is, we were in a losing streak. We weren't playing, very clean football, in my opinion. Whether it's penalties, discipline, everything that goes with it, and just trying to get your whole team to get on the same page is. So that was the number one thing. And like I said, my job is to do whatever it takes to help our team be successful. And at that point, I felt real strong that's what I needed to do, and that's what I did.
You obviously have experience working with Tim Harris your first 2 years here. Why was it a priority for you to go and recruit him back to come back to UCF essentially?
Well, he's valuable in a lot of different areas. First of all, like I said earlier, he's one of the better football coaches, teachers that I've coached with. And then somebody that's familiar with me, familiar with how we operate, familiar how we operate offensively. We're on the same page with that. He's a great recruiter. I think everybody knows that. But probably his biggest gift is just his ability to develop relationships with players. And, he's really, really special in that area.
Coach, obviously you've dealt with a large amount of injuries since your time here. What does a new strength coach bring to that in terms of the little tiny niggling injuries?
Well, I mean, I think more than anything is, he played for me. He has been a strength coach for me. So I think more than anything, it's just that continuity, everything from top to bottom. He's with our players more than anybody else. And so just the culture we're developing, everything that goes with that, talking to our players, you can ask them, I mean, just how they feel after two or 3 weeks. He's really good. He's one of the rising stars, I think, in really all of college football in that area. And, know exactly what we're getting.
Tim's experience has been coaching running backs at the collegiate level to this point. What makes him the right fit to coach wide receivers specifically?
Yeah, so I'll take you back. Tim was a head coach in high school. My experiences, some of the best teachers and coaches I've ever been around, all right, even since I've been in college, were high school coaches. And I think he won a national championship as a head coach. So he's used to coaching everything. It doesn't matter. You could put him with the quarterbacks, you could put him with the receivers, you could put him with the tight ends. He's a great coach. So really, that's really what stood out to me. And, I will promise you our receiver will take that next step.
Coach, you mentioned you won a national championship with Coach Ted Roof. Of course, you work with Tim Harris before. You bring a lot of people that you worked with before here at UCF. What about these people that keep them around on your coaching staff for your entire life, and how does that help you go forth with your championship?
Yeah, I think anytime you don't meet expectations and you go back with people you're familiar with, that you've won together with, you know exactly what you're getting. You know how they're thinking. They know how you're thinking, and everything that goes with that. And then guys that we've won championships with. And so you're exactly right. That's how we're putting the pieces of the puzzle together. That was a big part of my evaluation on what we needed to do to take that next step and have a good season next year. Okay, thank you.